Hi, I'm going to talk about what Disney movies are actually about. Um, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is Finding Nemo, because if you think about it, at the beginning of the movie, this guy's wife is murdered, and then his only surviving child is physically handicapped, and then he becomes very overprotective and suffocates his child, and then his child gets kidnapped and he has to look for him with a mentally disabled or mentally handicapped woman who can barely function at a normal level. Really messed up. Bambi is about a kid whose mom was murdered. A lot of these are about murder if you think about it. Starts out with murder. Bambi's mom is murdered, and then he's raised by his estranged father, who technically isn't even around, so like Thumper, who's like the same age as Bambi, is raising him and teaching him how to talk. And in what planet is a deer, a bunny, and a skunk all friends? They're not friends. People don't like deers don't like skunks, rabbits don't like deer, and deer don't like rabbits, and rabbits don't like skunks. It's just weird. I'm going to talk about The Lion King because The Lion King is basically inbreeding, is what that's about. Because if you think about it, there is no other males in that movie other than Scar, who's Simba's uncle, and Mufasa, Simba's dad. And how in the world did Nala get there? She didn't just magically appear. Things to think about when you're watching these. Dumbo was about, well, Dumbo completely screwed up everything because he was delivered by a stork, so he doesn't have a dad. That's messed up. Um, that was about basically Child Protective Services came in and took the child away from its mother. Is basically what happens because she goes psycho for good reason. She goes psycho for a good reason. She still goes psycho, and then it also talks about how he runs off from the circus, which is really kind of backwards. Usually you run away to the circus, now you're running away from the circus with his friend Tim, who then, I'm pretty sure they were on drugs because elephants can't fly. They can't do it. It's not good. But yeah, I'm gonna group together Jungle Book and Tarzan because they're basically about the same thing. Basically, they get abandoned as well. Mowgli gets abandoned, but Tarzan's parents get killed by that jaguar thing. And one is raised by wolves, and the other is raised by gorillas, who can talk. That's weird. And then is introduced to normal society. Well, not really normal society, but normal society invades the jungle, and they're forced to try and communicate with another person, and that doesn't work out. And Jane is basically stuck with this guy who keeps trying to pick lice out of her hair, which is really weird. She has lice. That's weird. And Mowgli spends a lot of time with a bear and a panther, which is unlikely that he would survive that encounter, but he also teaches an orangutan. He's supposed to teach an orangutan how to use fire, which is completely insane. Because if orangutans knew how to make a fire, end of the world, it'd be like Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Mowgli caused the rise of the Planet of the Apes. mind explosion. Also, the protagonist, or the, no, not the protagonist, the antagonist, if I could get my words right, in both of those movies are wild jungle cats. Shere Khan and I forget what Tarzan's jaguar's name is, but it's not good. And so, okay, I'm going to talk about The Little Mermaid. I wasn't going to talk about any princesses, but I've decided that I would because that movie gets me every time. One, she is 16. 16 years old. And she wants to be with a guy. You know, she wants to marry what's his name? Eric? Is that his name? Prince Eric? I don't know. She wants to be with him. And she wants to change her appearance for a man. So that's basically telling girls, you need to change who you are if you want to be with the person that you're supposed to be with. And that's not true. Not true. That's why The Little Mermaid is one of my least favorite princesses. But she has the best villain. Ursula's awesome. Because she's just cool. Well, now that I got that out of my system, subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Twitter, my Tumblr, and my blog, which are all below in the where I talk about what the video is about. See you guys next time.